It's 10 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a regular Commissioners Court meeting, County of Starr, Monday, November 27th. Let the record show that we do have quorum, everyone being present. Everyone, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone here this morning and thank you all for being here. Also, I hope everyone had a very happy Thanksgiving. And now we'll go back to work. First item is approval of claims. Mr. Carter.
Your Honor, the claims are all in order. There's 11 pages this time, and they're all pretty much routine claims.
I do so move to approve the claims presented, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is the vendors list, Mr. Carter.
The vendors list is all in order, sir. The vendors have all their information, and they're all local people.
Move to pass the vendors list.
Yes, second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5 is an action item of this to approve a resolution on the opposition of the new border wall construction. Joshua Chapa, you want to please use the podium?
Thank you, Your Honor, for having me. Thank you, Commissioners. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have on this resolution. I just want to inform a little bit about myself so you know who's making this plea to you. I've been working with a coalition of a number of local charitable organizations, Lupe, the Sierra Club, as well as just a number of concerned citizens all over the valley who have been working in opposition of the border wall. We have worked to pass resolutions at Hidalgo and Cameron County, and several cities therein. We have done community outreach to inform the communities, most recently in Roma, of the threat to people's properties, the environment, and obviously themselves and their families posed by this wall. So I'm here to answer questions. I'm also a teacher of college English, and while I can't cart all of them out for you right now, I can't tell you how many dozens of essays I've read against DACA, against the border wall, against the first speech where President Trump announced his candidacy. So I feel I'm pretty close to the issue and also can represent a number of those voices I've received in those student essays, who normally don't speak up too much.
So is this a formal organization that you're representing, or is it just a group of people? Or?
I am myself a volunteer and a citizen. Although it is, like I said, I'm here on behalf of Lupe and...
Okay. So you represent all of them?
Yes.
I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to read it, but it's pretty much...
Anyway, it's opposing it, eh? I do so move, Your Honor.
I have a motion to...
I second, Your Honor.
Oppose, second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Signatures. Item 6 is to authorize the treasurer to open a new account entitled Starr County Renovation Fund. Anyone know what that's about? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Okay. Is there a motion to approve that?
Move to pass.
Second, Your Honor.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Just passed. Item 7 is a action item, and this is to order exemption for the Avalor taxation for year 2018 for the county in the following amounts: appraised value of residential homestead, 25,000 of the appraised value of the resident homestead of an individual who is disabled and/or individuals who are over 65 years of age. Commissioner?
Okay, Your Honor. I had some residents going to speak to me about not being able to pay their taxes from home. So I took the initiative to go ahead and do some research based on what their needs are, you know. So I came upon this article, which is from Harris County, where Harris County commissioners approved the property tax exemption for seniors and disabled. These guys went to a 20% cut, okay, which was a total of $160,000. I'm not asking for that. I'm only asking for a $25,000. Now, based on having gone with Ms. Guerra, here are my numbers. If we, at a 3,000, right now we're losing 65,481, okay, more or less. If we go up to a 25,000, we're gonna go to 545,676. When you subtract both of them, we're actually just losing 480,195, okay? Those are the numbers at right now if we use a 25,000 cut. Okay, so now, this is, I have also a thing on Texas property tax exemptions. The law does require for us to increase if the commissioners and the court approves it. So therefore, there is a need, we need to act on this need, so I propose to go ahead and pass this exemption if the Commissioners Court allows it. So motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 25,000.
25,000, unless we
25,000.
can always come back and amend it, but I think it's a fair and reasonable number to help them out.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea, Commissioner. You know, I had not been aware of this. The appraisal district or anyone had never told us, but I think it's a great idea. Really, the only difference, and as the Commissioner mentioned, it's only about $169 that we will be, I guess, waiving from the over 65 and disabled.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's anything that's gonna
It's
break us.
nothing
or
out of this
hurt
world.
us. Yeah, so I think it's a great idea. I do have a motion and a second. All in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8,
Your Honor, on
Yes.
item 8, 9, and 10, I have gone over reviewed everything and based on what I saw, and I see the concern of our transportation director, Ms. Guerra, has a concern of me collecting this dollar on the businesses, and probably she's right, she's looking out for the concern, like what best, for the best interest for the county. And I've noticed that in 10 months, I collected only $1,030, you know, in the businesses. So it's not worth it, you know, opening an account to collect that money, you know. I'll go back to the businessman and tell him to go ahead and continue paying those drug addicts that we got up there, the $1, so they can go dump the tires up on the streets, you know, so they can contribute to the Zika virus. And at the same token, the crack houses make a little extra money, and the county will just put in an extra expense to pick up the tires. So I will, on those 3 items, no action to be taken.
okay. So no action needed.
Oh, sir. Mr. Carter, by the way, I'll bring in the $1,030, and you can use them to offset those $2.4 million that we overspent in this year's budget, so we can help lower down the deficits or the breach over that we had.
All right, so please deliver them to the county treasurer.
Yeah, I will, well, the county treasurer will, and let them dispose of it the way they want.
Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome, sir.
Very good, Mr.
Okay, item 11 is an action item, and this is to approve tipping fees for each precinct according to transfer station tipping fees. Ms. Guerra, what's that?
Ms. Guerra, the first question I'm gonna ask is, I wanna know because, and I really don't know, what is the definition of a tipping fee? What's a tipping?
It's the fee schedule, the charge at the transfer station for any trash, debris, tires, et cetera, that,
Why is it called tipping fee? It's just not a charging fee or,
well, that's a term that they use for,
that's a term that they use?
Mhm.
It looks like a restaurant or.
No. No.
But even though.
that's how TCEQ refers to the fees.
Oh, well.
And I just want to add, this is a service to the county, you know, a service that we're providing to the county. I don't see why the commissioner should be paying these fees when we already have in place, you know, what's going on. And, you know, it's just like a retaliation because I put this on the agenda.
If-
And I
if-
think what we need to do, instead of tipping, your tipping fees, have a better management at the landfill, because it still continues, let me tell you. People that go around the scale and do not pay the tipping fees they're supposed to be paying.
The reason I brought this, judge and commissioners before the table was because, as Commissioner Garza has repeatedly pointed out, that the transfer station has been in the red. It hasn't been because of management or any misappropriation of how the transfer station functions. I told our bookkeeper, Janie, to look up the information just of last year, and I'm going to be very, very brief. According to Mr. Carter, he had told us we were around 120 in the red last year. Mr. Carter, am I correct? Okay. But you didn't count the $42,534 that we got reimbursed from the grant, right? So that brings it down to $82,000. In reality, in tires, from the commissioners, we should have gotten, which we didn't, $26,628. That's the first one. In trash, we should have gotten, if we would have charged the commissioners, $50,929. In construction and debris, we should have gotten, if we would have charged you, $5,480, which brings it to 80-some thousand dollars. So in reality, if we were to be charging each precinct, we'd be making a little money with the transfer station. But like you mentioned, Commissioner Garza, this is not retaliation. This is simply bringing out to the table why we have been in a deficit. And it is good to know that each precinct wants to do their own community service. But when it takes a toll on our budget and not on you all's, I have to come before you to explain, not to be, counting or whatever, but just simply so that you can know why we're in the deficit. And that's the reason that I put this item in the agenda, since it was last Tuesday, we got an abundant amount of tires coming to the transfer station. In a matter of minutes, we got 16,760 pounds of tires on Tuesday. It was before lunch, wasn't it, Mr. Gonzalez? Right before lunch, which, if I were to round it off and divide it by 22 pounds, because that's the average per tire, it was 762 tires. In a matter of 5 minutes, that's how many I got.
At how much, ma'am?
Pardon me?
22 what?
22 pounds.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Therefore, you're wrong, too. I have repeatedly counted every tire, especially for that. They don't weigh 22.5. They weigh 29.5. So it's not the amount of tires, it's less the amount of tires that we collect. And I did it, and I got the schedules there. How many tires we get cut up and put them in car tires only itself. And
Well, there
goes
was
up.
also semi-truck tires in there.
No, ma'am, but I already calculated, before to start off, we calculated those tires in and only car tires, and they weigh 29.5.
I guess it depends on the tire, Commissioner, but if you were
But like I
to,
said, I
go to a normal tire, which many of the businesses that you collect from, collect or acquire regular passenger
like-
tires,
like I said-
that's the average amount, Commissioner. And that's the only reason I put it on the agenda, because it looks bad for the transfer station to be in a deficit, knowing that it's not transfer station management and not transfer station fault, like you pointed out, Commissioner, simply just to justify why we're in a minus.
And that's why,
It was
and-
always going to be in a minus, in a.
Yes,
since I was
and that's
here-
fine.
Since I was here years ago, because it was a proven fact that this thing will never be a money-making deal.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, we're gonna have to do something drastically, either go privatize it, or just get rid of it, or find money to dig a hole again in the ground, with a permit. Something's gonna have to be done. The way the system is right now, no matter how much we argue about tires and tipping fees, it will never make money.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Never.
Well, the intention,
We can go back and
the
forth.
intention, Commissioner, at the,
Blame the lawyers, blame the British court, blame Reina, blame the judge. We're gonna be like this forever.
the intention of
We have to sit
the
down and
transfer
figure something
station,
out.
since the very beginning, was to have this as a community service, not a money-making machine, but simply to have this service for our county.
Yes, but the transfer station, and I'll give credit to Mr. Gonzalez. He's been keeping costs at a minimum, todo lo que se pueda. But the transfer station cannot continue to be subsidized by the county's funds, general fund or whatever, or by the commissioners. It cannot. If it cannot sustain itself, something has to be done eventually. One of these days.
Well, that's why I brought this to you all's
But by
attention.
charging us, just because, and I don't know if it was retaliation or not, but.
It's not, Commissioner. It's simply just to make ends meet at the end of the
By charging
day.
us and bringing us all into the mix doesn't work. You all have a problem with one of the commissioners, sit down with him. But to bring us all into the mix, I don't think I'm a problem. I don't think he's a problem. I don't think Commissioner Peña is a problem.
it's the county as a whole, the problem, and we have to do the cleanup, we either like it or not, or the cost of the county or not, we have to do it.
Commissioners, at this point, I believe we just got the presentation, the discussion, if a motion is made,
All right.
at that point, we can go ahead and discuss it at that point.
Did you need to
If there is in fact a motion.
If you may, just be a minute. And I think the tipping fee thing came about was if commissioners were gonna collect monies from anyone, we thought it was only fair that that money be transferred to the transfer station in order to compensate for the hauling fees. That was all, that was one of the reasons why that was put on the agenda.
I'm gonna make a motion,
If-
Mr. Canales,
but
so we
that's
can
it.
stop this. I'm gonna make a motion to disallow the tipping fee by the precinct, if I'm correct. To disallow.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Okay, I have a
Thank you very
motion.
much this morning.
I have a motion, and a second, not to approve charging a tipping fee
Thank you all.
for precincts. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just saw the attorneys walk in and out. Can you check if they're here so we can? Juliana. Yeah. We can go on to item 12 while we're checking on that.
Okay.
And this is the renewing a lease agreement with Mr. Francisco Chapa and Elizabeth Chapa with Commissioner Precinct 3.
Are those who move, you know?
I second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. This is the same as last year?
Yes, sir.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 and 14 are budget amendments. Mr. Carter, are they in order?
Yes, sir, these budget amendments are in order.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15 is an action item, and this is to accept reimbursement in the amount of $10,542.68 from the city of Laredo to the 911 addressing department.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second motion.
Moved and second. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. If the court will allow me, we have some people from out of town that probably have to be leaving. It is 10/22/23, and pursuant to section 551.087 and 551.071, we will now go into executive session to deliberate regarding economic development negotiations, the purpose of settlement with Javier Cruz Jr., and and to get legal advice on cost number DC 1490. We'll be back shortly. I'm sorry? Oh, 900, I'm sorry. What did I say?
90.
90, 10. Okay, we'll be back shortly. It's 11:10 and we're back in open session. We left off on item 16, and this is an action item to approve request from Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid on a waiver of all copies fees for the Starr Regional Public Defense Office.
That's all movie, Your Honor.
I second, Your Honor.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 17 is an action item to authorize our county attorney to enter into lease agreement for storage and ratification of prior lease agreement.
Yes, Commissioners, good morning. I'm asking for ratification and the authorization to enter into a 2-year lease with the storage that we used for the motherboards and other items seized. It's on par with the per square foot. Actually, it might be a little less expensive. This is all to be paid out of discretionary funds, will not cost the county 1 penny.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second motion, Your Honor.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is also Mr. Canales, and this is to approve budget for the Crime Victim Domestic Violence Initiative. I believe you all have it in
Judge, Commissioners, this is a program that has been running at the county attorney's, supervised by the county attorney's office for approximately 15 years. There has never been a formal adoption of a budget by the county, although we submitted to the Texas Governor's Office and other entities. This is what's in place right now. It's been in place for many years. Does not cost the county money. As you can see, last year, however, we were, I believe, short $4,000, I believe. We've tweaked the numbers, and this year we should have a surplus of about $3,000. But the project itself, every time that we've come to Commissioner's Court these last couple of months, the auditor's office and the payroll department show my office at estimated over budget by approximately $100,000, and that's because this budget is not entered into their system. That's the only reason. It's just not entered into their system. They have zero budgeted for the manager, zero for the data entry operator, and zero budgeted for the receptionist. And so, as you can see, the amounts that we draw from the state are on the right-hand side. It's $60,047.34. Includes all the fringe benefits. It includes the FICA, the payroll, the insurance, everything is completely paid for. It is paid through an 80% grant. The 20%, which normally the county would be responsible for, we actually go out and secure a grant through the United Way program, where they pay us a flat amount of $35,000 that more than covers that grant. And that is why that's why I'm asking for y'all to approve the budget today, is so that my office, quite frankly, just doesn't look like it's over $100,000 over budget. Because these are monies that we receive, and we've been working with the auditor to draw down those monies on a monthly basis.
Okay.
I move that we approve the
I
budget.
second, Your Honor.
Moved in second to approve, discussion. Under discussion, Mr. Canales, and the reason this was never in your budget, it was never presented to the court for us to work it into the budget, and that's the reason it showed it. It certainly wasn't
Correct.
with any malice or anything that was.
No, and this is a program that I inherited when I took office, and so it actually went from the county attorney's office to the DA's office, back to the county attorney's office, and all those years it was inherited, and we just ran it as such. And the auditor previously never asked us to submit a budget for it, and
And then the other comment that I would have is, it doesn't cost the county anything if we get reimbursed.
Correct.
On a timely manner.
Correct.
And that's been a problem in the past, I hope.
and that's why we're working with the auditor to get that done on a monthly basis.
Okay, and certainly, I'm all for this program. I think it's greatly needed in our community. And certainly, we thank United Way for their assistance. I have a motion, a second. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item 19, this is the tax abatement proposal for Bordas Roads. This is what we discussed inside.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Commissioners. We're bringing this item to you today basically to finish up the negotiated terms that we have discussed, and I know those happened during executive session, so we're asking for you to please consider taking action on that item to allow us to move forward on it.
Your Honor, I would like to make motion to approve negotiated terms as presented, subject to final and written contract.
I'll take that motion.
Okay, that is on regarding the economic development negotiations.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the other two items that we covered are settlement agreements.
Your
thank you,
Honor,
Rose.
on agenda item 21 and agenda item 22, I would like to make motion to approve settlement as presented by the court.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Did I call for the vote on item 20?
No, sir.
I didn't, but let's go back to item 20. I did have a motion and a second. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
For clarification purposes, number 19 and 20 are essentially the same item?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
They're the same item.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I'd ask that it be, no action on number 19.
Okay, so we'll go back to 20,
19, no action.
and 20 was the one we.
Yeah, and that's all we voted.
Clarification on the agenda that I printed from item 19 is the one that you have on the tax abatement. Is that different?
That's why I asked if that was different than what was discussed.
No. That's the item. I thought Mr. Canales just mentioned no action on 19.
No, because we covered it in item 20.
20, we went to
In
executive session.
executive session.
Oh, you
And
did
then
20, okay.
and we
19 and
approved.
20 are the same thing.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you.
I believe that's all we have. It's 11:15.
Your Honor,
Yes,
before
sir.
we adjourn, and maybe I'm out of sequence here, but remember I asked something about the insurance.
Uh-huh.
Can I discuss anything on that or not?
It's inappropriate. Not when there's a quorum present, unless it has to be on the agenda.
Yeah,
Well, can I ask one question? Can I have a copy of the contract? That, I mean,
He's entitled to
who,
a copy of the contract.
huh?
He's entitled to a copy of the contract.
Who has it, Your Honor? And who,
Pues I guess HR would have it. See, HR, let's see if we can get a copy and send them to all the commissioners. Yeah. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Your Honor.
Moved and second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.